We're continuing our study of various hazards affecting property owners, both personal as well as business. I've asked Mary Lewis, a senior account executive for Chappell Smith & Associates, to continue this discussion with me. Mary, we've talked about flood, we've talked about mud flow and landslides. There are a lot of other things that may or may not be covered in property policies. Let's talk a little bit about earthquake. We have various sections of the United States that this is feared and is frequent. The West Coast, certainly, it's hard to visit there without feeling some little tremor. But even in Middle Tennessee, we have a significant fault, I think called the New Madrid Fault, that goes up and down the Mississippi River. Although we don't have frequent earthquakes here, it is possible, we're told. Tell me about earthquake coverage.
Earthquake coverage is not a coverage that's automatically included in your homeowner's policy. You do need to add it. And there is an additional premium depending on the area that you live in. In Middle Tennessee, in the Nashville area, the rate is fairly reasonable. $300,000 house probably costs you about $200 for earthquake insurance. Now, the closer you get to the west, in Memphis, the coverage is very expensive, probably $500 to $600 a year, and some companies don't continue to write earthquake insurance in that area. Something that I did learn in our research is the Midwest area, including Tennessee, there is between a 40% and 60% chance that we will have an earthquake in the next 20 years.
Wow, that's a little bit scary. Are there limits on the amount of insurance? We talked in flood insurance that we had some maximum limits that you could buy in the normal underlying coverages. What about earthquake?
On earthquake, the limit is to your full dwelling limit, so whatever your dwelling limit is, less a deductible. The minimum deductible is 5% of your dwelling limit. You can go all the way up to 15% of the dwelling limit, and of course the rate goes down.
That affects the price.
Yes.
I remember, or seem to remember, that there is a brick veneer deductible if you have a brick home.
Correct. You can have full coverage on the brick veneer at a higher rate, or you can just include the frame at a little bit lower rate.
I see. Tell me about earthquake coverage for commercial insurance.
Same situation. It is not included automatically under the commercial policy, but you can buy back the endorsement for an additional premium.
And I would assume in that market, if you were insuring a one-story commercial building, that your earthquake coverage might be less expensive than if you were insuring a high-rise building.
Correct.
And I'm sure, too, that construction makes a difference.
Yes.
If it is primarily a masonry building, I would say that it would probably be more subject to damage than a frame
Correct.
building. Well, that's interesting, and I think certainly worth every homeowner and every business owner reviewing with their agent.
Probably in our agency, I would say 25% of our clients do have earthquake coverage on their homeowners.
Well, I certainly know I carry it. Can we talk a little bit about sinkholes? That has been something I've been seeing in the news. Recently saw a car and an entire house disappear.
Yes, that's another coverage that is not automatically included in your homeowners. You can buy it back. The premium is not expensive, probably $25 on the most standard homeowner policies. It's a coverage that people, again, in Middle Tennessee don't think they need because you don't hear that much about it, but there have been situations I think there was one north of Nashville and there was one in Murfreesboro. So we automatically add the coverage to the homeowner policy for $25 and let the client make the decision if they want it.
Well, thank you very much. That's been interesting and I hope informative for our clients.